So this is John, NN6U, operating as part of the N6J team for California QSO Party 2024, and we're up here in Fremont Peak State Park. And unlike in previous CQPs, I've got my Jeep set up in more of an expedition mode. It is not in mobile mode. And the antenna setup that I've got going on, I have a trailer hitch mount with a buddy pole, and currently the buddy pole is set up on 15 meters. And then I also have a connection for doing some vertical antennas. I was using that last night on 40 and 80, and some radials running around the campsite here for when I'm using the vertical. If anybody was curious about my mount here, it's actually a CB radio mount, but I put a little tab under there so the radials can connect. I can use it radioless. The Jeep itself is a decent counterpoise, but then I'd be directional over to the west right now, and I'd rather be a little more omnidirectional or try and get out to the east. Again, for the verticals that I don't have hooked up at the moment, like the ham stick here, or I've got a 17-foot whip for 20 meters. But right now I've been working on off the buddy pole, and it's been working pretty well on 15. So hope I worked you in CQP by the time you see this.
Well, at least the SWR is staying good.
Good.
As opposed to before.
CQ California, this is Whiskey 7 Victor Charlie, Whiskey 7 Victor Charlie, calling California for CQP.
All right, 2024 CQP is in the bag, and just wanted to show you a little bit of my setup here at the end. So for Sunday, I decided to experiment with a different antenna and use new infed half wave that I attached to a 22-foot mast. So let's take a look at this. So similar setup here with Jeep, definitely not in mobile mode, in expedition mode, with the 22-foot mast up there. Infed half wave feeding it from the top. And there's some nice clips that I could use to keep the coax from getting too close to the transmit line, just because that should work a bit better. All attached into a trailer hitch here. And I've added this to the mobile antenna switching network that I have down here. So this is antenna number 3 on this switch, which, as I said, went to this switch, which switches between the radio and the antenna analyzer. And I'll include a plot of this infed half wave, but it's 40, 20, 15, and 10. And after CQP was done, I wanted to pick up a few more contacts on 12 and 17 for the purposes of a particular POTA award. POTA activators know what I'm talking about. And so I got on 12 and I got on 17 and got some DX that I hadn't had before, including Rotuma Island. So that was pretty cool. But it's basically just stretched down here and tied to a rock. So that's the that's the attachment point here. And touches the tree a little bit, but not too bad, and touches a little live branch on a tree, so nothing dry. And that worked really well, and it took 2 or 3 times as long to set up as the buddy pole, and my buddy pole never gets tangled. But the flexibility of being able to switch between the bands worked really well for me today on Sunday, where I just popped through 40, 20, 15, and 10, and picked up some CQ California folks from around, and was able to pop between the bands pretty quickly there, as opposed to yesterday, where I was mostly would set up on a band, call CQ where I could. Mostly worked search and pounce because I couldn't really hold a frequency, but did some of that, and then take 15 minutes to switch bands. So this was nice for doing some mop up on Sunday, and definitely a nice antenna. So when I have 60 feet or whatever it is that it takes to set this up on POTA. I'll be using this again, but it certainly takes up a bit more time to set up than just throwing on a vertical or even buddy pole. But anyway, really fun CQP, and hope to work you all next year. This is John, NN6U. I was operating as November 6 Juliet along with my friend Rick, K6TOR on CW. Thanks all.